This is season number 19 of Bass Talk Live with Matt Pengrack. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Aftco, Strike King Lures, Sunline, Big Bite Baits, Spro, X-Zone Lures, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, and Pro Guide Batteries. Hit them with the hook, Jefferys.
BTL coming at you.
Good afternoon, and welcome to a very special edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk about bass fishing. And yes, we had to keep the tradition alive. It almost didn't happen because he's retired from the fishing industry, but he had to bring it back. The annual Mark Jefferys Bassmaster Classic odds. And listen, everyone has Bassmaster Classic odds out there. And Jefferys was the one who started it. He was the first one who ever came out with it for like 5 years. No one else had classic odds. That's great. He's a trendsetter. Everyone else can have them, but this is the OG. And the OG just got done teaching finance class. What's up, Mark?
Hey, the classroom is empty right now. So this is my wind down time. And I'm glad that you offered the opportunity for me to come back on. I don't know if I'm bringing my A game, but
you're bringing some sort of game,
dude. I got a screen full of notes here for the odds.
Oh, you actually made some notes. So if you listen to Fred Rambanus's BTL this morning, there were a couple things that came out of that show. One, BradleyHallman.com, BradleyHallman.com, the BFE leather patch hat for sale on the site. Did you ever think you would see the day, Mark, that Bradley Hallman would be promoting merch on his website?
No.
I mean, dude,
we've talked about that, man.
Merch on the website, but it is a killer BFE hat if you haven't had a chance. Well, look, I could actually do this. BradleyHallman.com. Huh?
Can you show it to me?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to share the screen right here.
All right, while you're doing that, I just want to...
I got it right there. There it is. There's Bradley Hallman Fishing. There's the BFE. Order them. Look at that. He's modeling it. He's got it. You got the trucker hat. And then you've got the Richardson 112.
Yeah.
Look at that. With
impressive.
The BFE leather patch hat. So there you go. $25. He's not trying to take anyone to the cleaners with it. $25 you can get on and order that. That's Hallman's BFE hat, Richardson 112. I get nothing out of it. This is a Bradley Hallman deal. Boy, Swindle looks young over your right shoulder there.
Yeah, that is got to be 15 years old, I think. 15 years old. Long time ago.
Quit slapping the table. You've been slapping the table for the first 4 minutes, like at least a dozen times. You should know this. You did this for 20 years. Just fold the arms, relax. You'll be fine. You're the most nervous guest I've had on in the past month. I'm not kidding.
Dude, I'm not nervous. All right. I'm actually very chill because I was going to go into, in case anybody was wondering, I actually have 14 players signed, not committed, but signed to my collegiate bowling team. I have 7 men and 7 women. And I still have 6 offers on the table. The goal was 8-8. So I'm sitting in great shape, being the month of March, and ready to kick things off in August of this year with the brand new program. And we'll see what happens, Matthew. We'll see if we make some noise. But I got kids from all across the country, from Washington to Philadelphia. Yeah, look at that.
Well, you're an Under Armour school.
Yeah.
Anderson, Taylor, Hurt, Green, Estes, Swavely, and Shannon are the men's team that's going to take you to collegiate bowling glory, Mark.
Yes.
And then you literally could be the editor of Obscure Sports Quarterly between the bowling and the bass fishing.
Those are cool jerseys, aren't they?
Did you design those?
Oh, yeah.
What, Winders or Winders?
Winders,
Holcomb, Perkins, Cruz, Wilcox, Stoner, and Hawkins.
Yeah.
That's the women's team. And then you could see all this at snubowling.com for those who are listening on iTunes.
Yeah. Thanks for
head coach. Three year contract.
No contract.
But they're heavily invested in the program.
They are. We're almost done with the locker room. I got a big time donation from our friend Brent Conway is stepping up in multiple aspects, but we needed flooring in the locker room, and he is paying for the flooring in the locker room.
Is that why you used to call him Gordon Geico?
Well, he is
Gecko.
Gordon Gecko, dude.
Gecko, not Geico. He has nothing to do with the lizard or insurance. Gordon Gecko.
No. Brent has done very well for himself. He's worked very, very hard in the commercial real estate business and has a very, very good life. Yes,
very
he does.
Nice. Does he fish as much as he wants to?
He does not, but he did hit me up. Last year we were actually talking about one of the most epic days we ever had on Lake Texoma. It was Brent and I.
Oh yeah.
When I caught my personal best on Texoma off the railroad bridge, and he was like, "Hey, when are we going to do that again?" I said, "Not till May. It's not till the shad spawn." So,
how long are you good for today? Like, do you have another group that is coming?
No, I'm done because since basketball's over, like this is my planning hour. So I would go from planning hour to weightlifting to basketball practice.
You weightlift or you watch people lift weights?
No, I super.
All right. So while we're showing off new stuff, all right, we'll go back to the BTL website right there, right? And then we'll click on Shop BTL. We'll click on that to enter the BTL apparel store. And I don't think you have seen the new 2023 St. Jude fundraiser. Bass fishing saves lives. Look at that. I know you hate outlines of fish, but that's pretty cool with the fish inside the green.
That's very cool.
Ribbon.
That's very cool.
That was designed in conjunction with ATS printing, and you can go to, like I said, basszone.com shop BTL. $24.95. 100% of the proceeds go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital for the Dick Hiley St. Jude Bass Classic. Fat Cat MCs it. I'm fishing it with Adam Bartuzek the first weekend of May. We've already raised $4,200. Our goal is to get to $10,000 this year. So jump online and order that T-shirt after you go check out Mark's bowling team.
That's cool. Did you design that?
No. ATS printing did. They said, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I think it said something about it, but then I like we used the slogan from last year, "Bass fishing saves lives."
Yeah, no, it's cool. They did a good job. So that's a good cause, good job. And Matt's right. You guys need to go out and make a purchase on that.
We'll just take care of all the business before we get to the 2023 Bassmaster Classic that kicks off this Friday in Knoxville, Tennessee. Tellico, Fort Loudon, Tennessee River. Vols also in the tournament. I believe they play on Thursday, the first day of the Bassmaster Classic. Knoxville is going to be absolutely bonkers. Health-wise, how are you doing, Mark?
Yeah, it's all good. Things are great. Losing weight, getting fit and trim. I've actually lost about 15 pounds, so things are going really good. I have my annual cardio checkup next week with my cardiologist, but I feel great, man. I turned 60. 60 is good. I actually I don't feel 60.
Wait a second. You turned 60 in November?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were I did not realize that was the 60. Why is your hat crooked? Straighten that hat out.
I don't know. I'm sorry. There we go.
Yeah, much better. That was weird. It's one of your words, cattywampus.
Cattywampus.
Is it that word that you used to use?
Yeah.
Cattywampus, hugger-muggered, discombobulated.
No, discombobulated.
Yeah, but that's not a word. Discombobulated is the word, and you said discombobulated. But no, you're doing good, looking good. People want to know.
Somebody asked, hey, real quick, Junior asked if I can still smell or taste anything, and the answer is no. No. Probably never get it back. So
interesting.
It is what it is, man. Eating to me is filler.
Yeah.
It's just filler.
one thing that you have not lost is your ability to handicap the field for the 2023 Bassmaster Classic, and you have done just that. Now, listen, I know I'm going to get emails. I know I'm going to get texts. I'm going to get DMs. Hey, can we get the printed out sheet of this? Can you post this somewhere? You have partnered with bestontour.net, my title sponsor for the 2023 open season, as Hookie the Bookie presents the Bassmaster Classic 2023 odds. And within 24 hours, if you are signed up for bestontour.net, completely free on the website, just sign up for it. It goes to your email. They don't send you anything else. You don't get anything else. All of these odds will be listed in a printable format on the latest edition of bestontour.net. So there you go.
Yeah, and I'm doing it for every Elite Series event too. And
you're doing it for every Elite Series event too.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, I actually did the first couple of events, and I was pretty much in line, dude. I for the most part nailed it. Now we need to preface everything by saying this is strictly for entertainment purposes.
Yes.
Only. All right. We are not condoning gambling on fishing.
I'm condoning gambling. Just legal.
Hey, I got to tell you this, man. I haven't told you this. There is a casino, I believe it's in Ohio, of all places, called, what is it called? Bet River or Best River. I can't remember. They have actual odds and betting lines for professional bowling.
Really?
Yeah. And the guy that has been talking to the bookmaker for that casino is a friend of mine he lives just outside of Philadelphia. I'm actually trying to get in touch with his contact to find out what it would take to put a betting line on professional fishing, or even if they have any interest in that.
It'll be interesting. I forgot to mention this before we get into it. You know, I got the house now.
Bet Rivers. That's it. Bet Rivers.
Bet Rivers?
Yeah.
Let me pull it up. Where is it in? Bet Rivers, Sportsbook, and Casino. Select your location. Yeah. Oh, you could do it all over the place.
Yeah, but your state has to have approved sports betting to be able to do
so we can't do it in Oklahoma.
I don't think so. I know Arizona is one of the states because my friend in Philadelphia, he actually has his buddy in Arizona make all the bowling bets for him.
Is that legal?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
I guess technically he is.
Live sports streams, online sportsbook promotions, bonus bank, Ohio sports betting rewards, in-game betting odds. Very interesting.
Yeah. So do you think, seriously, Matt, do you think someday, and we discussed this numerous times, but now many years later after our initial discussion, do you think there will ever be a betting line on the Bassmaster Classic?
I believe that there are certain things that you will be able to bet on, whether it's through Bally's, Caesars, whatever. As far as individuals, I don't think you can ever get to the point because of how many variables there are in the playing field and because of how rare winning is in bass fishing. I don't think you'll ever get it. But I think as far as maybe putting a little 3-thing parlay together, as far as big bass, over, under, winning weight, things like that, I think that you could bet on that. But as far as dropping $100 on Jacob Wheeler, I don't think that'll ever be possible. And I think it would be if you can bet on the Nathan's hot dog eating competition. And I talked with Fred Rambanis this morning. I 100% think it would be out there if it was feasible to do, because they will bet on freaking anything. Especially, think about this, in 2020, during the pandemic, when everything stopped, what was the one main thing that was able to keep going? Professional bass fishing. You had people betting on all sorts of crazy, obscure sports and things. And if it ever was going to be able to take off like that, I would have thought that would have been the time when you literally had thousands of people going, okay, how can we generate money through gambling? Look, here's professional bass fishing that's still happening when nothing else was, and that still didn't hit the books. That's, I think, a good indication of how hard it is to actually handicap a field of professional anglers.
No, I agree. But eventually, I still believe within the next 10 years, there will be some type of sports betting on professional fishing.
Oh, I 100% agree. I think you'll be able to put $500 on that the big bass in this classic this year is going to be over 6.3.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Something that you would be proud of me about. I moseyed over to Bed Bath & Beyond today for their 1 day only 40% off everything sale, which I didn't know at the time. I just going over there to get something to eat from the Santa Fe Steakhouse.
Okay.
And I ended up getting a plethora of house scents. And have you ever been in the Bed Bath & Beyond and seen their smell experienced, I guess is the word, their aromatherapy scents?
I have not personally looked at that, but I have been inside because that's where I go to get coat hangers. They have an abundance of coat hangers
at Bed Bath & Beyond,
and
or Bath and Body Works. I'm talking about Bath and Body Works, not Bed Bath & Beyond.
In fact, in the old studio,
I'm talking Bath and Body. No, I'm talking Bath and Body Works. The one with all the you were talking Bed Bath & Beyond.
That's what you said.
That's what I said. I messed up. It's Bath and Body Works.
Okay.
Anyway, I went with mahogany, vanilla, and champagne toast, which are just some lovely, lovely calming scents. And I was wondering, knowing in your retirement, would you like me, since it is 40% off today, would you like me to go pick you up some soothing scents that might calm your high level of stress and anxiety?
No, dude, I can't smell or taste anything, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You can't.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Hey, by the way, I forgot to show you this. Can you read this? I don't know if you can read that or not.
Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. FCC LA is so thankful for you and all that you do.
That's right.
That's because they know you're leaving next year.
No, it's Teacher Appreciation Week here at Blanchard High School. So they're doing all kinds of stuff for us. So
is that every year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody
asked me if I was going to miss teaching. And
you're still teaching.
Honestly, with this being my last semester, I'm not. I am really fired up and ready to move on to this next challenge and quest. And, a big part of it is selling, man. It really is. You have to get kids that believe in what you're selling, believe in what you're trying to accomplish, how you're going to get there. And then the second part of selling is it doesn't matter if your program's supported by the athletic department, you still have to raise money. It's going to cost about $30,000 a year to do this program. And fortunately, there's been several people that have stepped up and is actually helping our efforts. And we have just about 65% of that 30,000 already raised. And that doesn't even include what the university is going to put in as far as our budget. I find out my budget on Monday for next year already. So it's, me, man, I like being in the middle of stuff and getting right in there and going after a quest. And this is definitely a quest. So it's all good.
Will you guys be on ESPNU in the next 3 years if your players excel?
No. The only thing that gets showcased is on the CBS Sports Network. And that is if you make it all the way to the finals of what is called the ITCs.
So is there a chance you'll be on that?
Maybe in the next 3 years, maybe. I'm in on a couple players for 2024. There's a kid in Wisconsin. I would say he's either the number 2 or 3 player in the nation for the class at 20.
Now, do you have to deal with NILs?
No NILs, not yet. We're fortunate because we have Brunswick that has really stepped up to the plate, going to sponsor our program so the kids don't have to worry about equipment whatsoever.
That's cool. I'm also curious. You will be at the bowling matches when these things are taking place, right?
Yeah.
Have you hired a get back coach to keep you from
that would be
running?
That would be the sixth man.
To keep you from running into the lane in a fit of rage or anger or excitement. You have a bowling coach that holds you back from jumping onto the actual lane. Say, get back, Coach Jefferys.
No. Hey, you'll get a kick out of this. Somebody asked me if I wanted a jersey. What do you think my response was?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
No.
You've got jersey. Dude, you are a closet jersey fan. You were like, look how cool those jerseys look. You literally gave each one of your students a jersey. You've got 75 different BTL jerseys. You've got jerseys of every angler in your office. You have other sports jerseys. It's okay to like jerseys, Mark.
I didn't say I didn't like. I'm not wearing a jersey when a competition is taking place.
Oh, like a baseball manager?
Yeah.
No, screw that. You should just go with an Adidas polo with the SNU.
We're Under Armour.
Or Under Armour polo,
Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm going with. I'm not wearing a jersey. I see these guys wearing jerseys. I'm just like, come on.
All right, we're 21 minutes into the show. This is the Bassmaster Classics 2023 Mark Jefferys odds. You good? You got to take a break?
No, hang on. I'm doing a live show. How are you guys? What's going on? You have a what?
A card from Miss Henry.
Oh, well, here, leave it for me. I'll sign it. You need me to sign it?
Yes.
Okay.
You're signing stuff, Mark.
Yeah.
Are you putting a number?
No, here, I got a pen right here. Hang on.
You should drop, what are you, number 17? You should drop a high school basketball number on there.
No, that's okay. I'm good. All right, here we go. Thank you. All right, taking care of the business. Right.
Got the autograph of future bowling collegiate national championship coach.
By the way, I did go fishing on Tuesday of spring break last week. Went to Texoma with AJ. And
did you smoke the stripers?
We caught a bunch of stripers, but we tried to catch some largemouth and some smallmouth, and we only caught 2, and that was it.
You got to let me know this stuff. So I am now the Oklahoma representative for Andrew Upshaw's TV show, Let's Fish TV. So every week I've got to do a fishing report, a minute long, on what's going on in the Sooner State. Like, hi guys, this is Matt with BTL. Really? Yeah, this is Matt with BTL, and here's the fishing report for Oklahoma. Oh, that's a good one. Did you keep it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you got your boat back from S&D.
I did. It was fun.
Everything rolling?
It was a really good time. There was nobody else on the lake.
What'd you catch it on?
Crankbait.
Trolling it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Old man fishing.
Anyway, so I do the Let's Fish TV. So I need some Texoma reports. So anytime we have that, you need to let me know what's going on. So now I can be like, and this is a report for the Sooner State. Stripers are hitting crankbaits trolled in 15 to 20 feet down by the dam.
Okay, time out. We have to dial this in. Before we get into the odds, one last thing. When are you and I going to have our showdown?
Whenever you think the best week is for you to have a chance to actually beat me.
All right, here, but I'm going public with this right now. There's going to be a new stipulation in this competition. No use of forward-facing sonar.
Oh, that's total bull.
No.
That's bull.
No.
That's bull.
No.
You've got stuff. You've got it on your boat.
Dude, this is mano-a-mano.
That you can be mano-a-mano. Okay, Randy.
Going back to the roots.
Okay, Randy. Right? Why don't you tell us all how to throw a jerkbait on table rock some more?
Come on, man.
I'm not playing that. I'm not playing that game.
Come on, man.
I've got you on your lake of choice at your time of the year.
No forward-facing sonar. That's it. Old school.
No flat A's and no Carolina rigs.
Hey, let's let the people decide. All right, people, what do you want? Do you think that forward-facing sonar should be allowed in Matt and I's competition?
Well, you're gonna have Randy. You're gonna have Randy Block it up, give the trophies out at the end of this 2-day thing.
No, man,
no.
You know,
it's part of fishing, just like anything else.
Dude, I'm not saying it isn't. It's
okay. I'll go no forward-facing sonar. You go no bait casters.
Huh.
That's the only stipulation that I'm willing to do it. You have to go all spinning rods.
I don't have enough.
That's the point. I'll go no forward facing sonar if you do no
That's all
bait
you
casters.
have, dude.
Exactly.
That's all you have. No, just.
And I agree with Bass Pro 009. If you do no forward facing sonar, then zero electronics whatsoever.
That's fine with me. I can do that.
I don't understand. Why don't we just go fishing? The point of fishing is to catch fish. The point of fishing is to learn, to get better, to enjoy the time to catch fish. And now you're like, hey, let's take out something that helps us catch fish. And then I'm like, oh yeah, well, if you're going to remove that, then I'll remove anything that brings joy to your day. And then we just end up out there twiddling thumbs. Why can't we just have a normal?
Yeah, I agree. Let's just have a normal without the utilization.
Why does it have to be without? I don't understand. You seriously are going to do that? Dude, this show has never been like that, and it never will be like that. And I am not happy that you brought that up because it's not even an issue. It's part of the sport. That'd be like, let's have a track meet without shoes because the early Olympians ran barefoot in Olympus. Like, get freaking real, dude.
Listen to me. All right. I'm giving you major props because you are really, really good at it. I mean, really good.
Oh yeah, I'm so good. Just get to your point.
Okay. I myself, I've had it on my boat. And
you have it. That's the thing. It's not like you're out there in a damn canoe with a freaking flasher and a color selector. You've got all of the stuff, dude.
Can I finish?
No, because it's cheapening the validity of the show with your suggestion of this. It seriously is.
So I'm giving you major props based upon the fact that you are really, really good at forward-facing sonar. There's no doubt. All right. I am saying I'm horrible at it. I am so green.
That's not my fault.
Well, it's not your fault.
Okay, when you were cranking the flat A when you kicked my butt, I'm horrible at cranking a flat A on 45-degree angle bluffs. Maybe I should make that illegal next time.
I just feel to somewhat level the playing field. Look, man, I fish. I've been on the water 3 times in the last probably 9 months.
That's not my fault.
You're on the water constantly. I know it's not your fault. I'm just saying to have a entertaining, engaging, and fun contest. Let's do the Mark versus Matt.
You are that unconfident that you could compete with me.
I can't do it. I can't. I'm admitting it on this show right now. There's no way that I could compete against you with you using and utilizing.
I'm an average Bassmaster Opens angler, Mark. I think you could hang. You've beat me before.
But not with forward-facing sonar.
It has nothing to do with the forward-facing sonar. I beat you 8 consecutive times before I had that stuff on my boat. You beat me with forward-facing sonar once I got it. I mean, you conveniently forget that I just thoroughly strummed you for a decade before I put that on my boat.
Exactly. So why are you scared to not use it and we go mano-a-mano again?
Can we just have a normal tournament where it's not an issue? Now you've made an issue out of it.
Okay, fine. We'll just have it.
I'm fine if you want to do no A-rigs.
You can use batteries and a telephone crank as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, freaking blow them up and cull through them, Jefferys. Good luck. May the best man and best with explosive win.
All right. Whatever we decide, and if we come to the point where it's, hey, you can use whatever you want. All right, fine. Use what you want. But I'm telling you, we're going to set it up either in the month of April or May that works around both of our schedules. It will happen in April or May, and we'll see what happens this year. But looking forward to it, dude. You've worn me out multiple times, but it's always a fun time.
All right, are you ready to get into the meat of the show today, which is the Bassmaster Classic odds? Go ahead and just describe to our listeners how you came about these odds, and when I pop them up, what exactly they mean with the number next, because depending on whose odds you're looking at, there's some drastically different numbers.
Okay. As with the odds that I've done since many years ago, it's always based upon if there was a betting line. All right. There are other people that do odds out there, but this is specifically to attract or generate action in anglers that are participating in the Bassmaster Classic. If, once again, this is for entertainment purposes only, if this was an actual casino that had a betting line on the participants in the Bassmaster Classic. I'll be honest, I did do quite a bit of research on this year. I did not do as extensive amount of research that I've done in the past, but I still, I got quite a few details on about 25 guys and then a smattering of other guys. But unlike previous years, Matt, I don't have a large spread. My favorites, my favorites are 4-1, and then my long shots are 20-1 and 25-1. So there's not a big spread. There is multiple anglers that if you were looking for action, that you think that the house is completely out of their mind from an odds standpoint, there's some opportunity for you to make money if this truly was the odds at a betting casino. So that's kind of how I structured it. We're only 2 events deep into the Elite Series, back to Knoxville, back to the Tennessee River. I looked at the weather. We used to talk about the weather all the time. The weather seems like it's going to be somewhat stable. I don't think there's going to be there may be a stray and a very, very limited stray of somebody just stumbling across something and catching something that's moved up on a bed. Highly unlikely, though, but maybe some certain magical area might take place. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think everything is going to be right place at the right time. I think there's going to be a lot of movement. I also think guys that are really good at patterning and based upon what they are finding that these fish are holding to, knowing and having the knowledge base to be able to make adjustments on the fly, even though the weather's going to be somewhat stable, I still think that there is a really good opportunity for somebody to get dialed in on one specific method or structure or something that's going to be a key for them. And I think that it might be one of those deals where it holds out for an entire 3 days. Now, you can flip a coin and go, Mark, you're out of your freaking mind. This is going to take somebody that constantly is adjusting with what's taking place. It could be, but the only reason that I'm saying what I said at the beginning is because of the way that the weather looks a little stable. It looks quite a bit stable. Yeah, they may have some thunderstorms roll through, but the weather, I think, is always a key factor this time of the year, especially on that body of water. And I think that the stable weather is really going to give somebody an opportunity to get on something and be able to duplicate what they're doing. Let me ask you this, Matt. Do you think, or how much do you think that smallmouth are going to come into play?
I think it'll be 1 on smallmouth. I
agree. All right. I think smallmouth are going to be a huge factor. I don't know if it's primarily going to be 1 on smallmouth, and I think smallmouth are going to be a massive factor. Now, the last time that they visited this body of water was not the 2019 Bassmaster Classic. They actually had an Elite Series event in 2021.
That's where they kind of figured out, oh my God, there's a lot of 4-pound smallmouth in this thing.
Yeah, imagine that. They hammered the smallmouth then. And once again, the characteristics of that fish on that body of water, if guys are able to duplicate and figure out exactly what they're doing, then, you're going to have somebody that gets dialed in.
Justin says this is absolutely not if there was a betting line. If there were, the odds are way off. An average angler would be 55-1 if it were a casino. Love the show, but that's just wrong.
Yeah, that's fine. And everybody has their opinion. I get it. All right. But what you got to understand too is try handicapping the unknown. Yeah. Right. It's pretty difficult. And what you got to understand is the house doesn't want to lose money. They're not going to throw odds out there that all of a sudden somebody stumbles across something. Do you think that there should be a massive quantity of anglers that are at 50-1, 100
200-1, 200? That's why it said, yeah, the actual odds might be totally different, but like you get dinged on one of those deals and you're living under a freaking bridge under the I-10 for the next 20 years.
Yeah, this is the way that I've done it for the zillion years that I've done this. All right, what you got? All right, so my favorites are all at 4-1. I got Jason Christie, and I know he got off to a horrible start. He finished 40th in 2019 when they were there. He only had 8 pounds on the first day. This is his 9th Classic. He's 66 in the Angle of the Year right now. He had a horrible Big O event, but he bounced back at Seminole, finished 23rd. And then he finished 5th in 2021 on the Tennessee River. And what do you say? He's Jason Christie. All right. Got him at 4-1.
I mean, he's that would kind of be like making Georgia. You have to put Georgia number 1 when the poll comes out for the college football stuff. I mean, he's the defending champ. He's got the title, and it fits his style. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Buddy Gross. This line is really on the HFA. Now, granted, I know this may not be in his wheelhouse because of the history that he has in that other body of water in Tennessee. And I know he's an offshore dude, but think about it, though. He won in Harris Chain back in 2022. He's kind of having his struggles so far this year, 56 in the AOY. And then when they were there in 2021, he finished 60th. This is kind of an HFA play, but at the same time, he's the kind of guy that after the struggles that he had in 2021 and the fact that it is in his home state, I look for some action from Buddy Gross. All right. Next up at 4-1, man, this guy, Brian New, really struggled in 2023 so far. He's 93rd in the AOI. He's got a 69th and 103rd finish at Seminole. But, he finished 9th in the 2022 Classic, and he finished 44th back in 2021. Here's an interesting stat from 2022, though. 6 out of 8 tournaments, he finished in the top 10.
Wow.
Right? This tournament, though, remember, Matt, it's all about winning. Does anybody remember who finished 3rd last year?
No.
No. How about even 2nd?
Wasn't it either Blaylock or Hamner?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It was Blaylock and Hamner. I do remember that. It was very close. I think.
All right, and you're knee deep into it. So this event,
Dalton Bobo. I remember Dalton Bobo finishing
Dalton
2nd.
Bobo, yeah.
Dead fish penalty.
Dead fish, yes.
97.
So I think with him being from South Carolina, keep an eye out on Brian Noon. Next up, Patrick Walters, last one at 4-1, currently 34th in the AOY. He finished 23rd in 2021 on the Tennessee River. Remember, that event was in February. So
Kyle Welch finished 2nd last year.
There you have it. Kyle Welch.
Hamner finished 4th, I think.
Okay. And here's my question for you, Matt. Is LiveScope going to come into play this year?
It depends. It depends on whether this thing is a river tournament, like it kind of was when Ott Defo won it in 2019, or if it turns into a moping Demiki forward-facing swimbait jerkbait tournament like it was when Gussie won it, or if it's a hybrid between the two, and then also how much the big swimbait plays into it with Zaldane and all the guys chucking all of the line through and pre-rig swimbaits now.
So we'll see. So what are you saying? 50-50 maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it will play. It's just, will it be one of those deals where a guy catches every single one of them looking at him?
Yeah.
50-50.
All right. Is Patrick Walters one of the best guys when it comes to forward-facing sonar?
Absolutely.
So that's part of the reason why I got him at 4-1. All right. Next up, I got 2 guys at 5-1. First one is Brandon Lester. This is his 8th Classic. The dude's got 2 top 10, 6th in 2019. Something that surprised me. Do you realize that he has over $1 million in earnings?
I did.
I did not realize that. So learned something in my research. He had 7th place finish at the Eufaula Open, but he's only 64th in the AOY. I still think that he is a man to be reckoned with, obviously being from Tennessee. That's, the HFA. I'm still a believer in the HFA. and I got him at 5-1. The other one at 5-1, Drew Benton from Georgia. It's his 6th classic. His best finish in any of those classics was 18th in 2017.
So I said, I feel like out of all of the picks, that Drew Benton is your highest pick that is you cannot justify.
What do you mean?
I don't know why Drew Benton would be above a Brandon Polinick or Greg Hackney, a David Mullins.
I know.
A Gustafson.
I get
Scott
it.
Martin.
Dude,
a Swindle. A
but here's something that I did. I actually spent the time, and I call it the crash and burn factor. You know what that is? You remember me talking about that? Is how many times guys are in a position to win, all right, but they end up crashing and burning. And then you have the opposite of guys who get out in front and the door is wide open for somebody to come inside and they just slam it in their face.
Yeah.
All right. And a lot of that has to do with pressure and the ability to handle pressure, the ability to perform when things are on the line. There is just something about that pick and the reason that I set those odds because of the lack of crash and burn. We'll see. We'll see what happens on that. All right. And then the other thing, remember, some of those odds that are down toward the bottom at 8-1, 9-1, I'm also trying to generate action there as I do, all right, every year with these odds. All right, let's see here. Big group at 6-1. Brandon Card. Did you know he is a former resident of Knoxville?
Yes. Did you also know he has Bell's palsy and is having to fish with an eye patch on?
I do.
Absolutely strummed him the first couple derbies out of the year, and it's one of the good, I guess, feel good. That's a wrong word for it, but one of the good feel good stories of 2023.
I do. It's his 6th classic. He's battled all kinds of health issues. He finished 4th in 2021 on the Tennessee River. And man, you talk about battling adversity, what that kid is going through right now. So big reason why I got him at 6-1. Next up, Greg Hackney, 17 classics. He finished 7th on the Tennessee River in 2021. He's 11th in the AOI. And one of the other staggering stats about Hackney is he's closing in on the $3 million mark in earnings.
Wow.
All right. The other thing about Hackney, what's the one thing that Hackney does not have on the fireplace mantle?
A raccoon.
Now, come
a possum.
on,
well, everyone knows it. It's the Bassmaster Classic trophy.
Yeah. So 6-1 with him. I think it would be really, really cool to see Hackney win the Classic. Let's see here. Next up, David Mullins, obviously from Tennessee. It's his 4th Classic. Surprisingly, he finished 40th in 2021 on the Tennessee River. He's got a horrible start to 2023, though. He's 100th in the AOI. But in 2022, he had a run of 4 straight top 10s, including a 10th place finish at the Bassmaster Classic. I cannot doubt the HFA and a little bit of redemption for the poor performance so far here in 2023 for the man from Tennessee. All right. Next up, let's see here.
BP, the man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Polinick.
Got him at 6-1, the reigning angler of the year. He finished 10th back in 2019. And here's an interesting stat on Polinick. He was 36th after day 1 and rallied to put himself in position. He only had 8 pounds on day 1. All right. The other thing is he's got 3 consecutive top 5 finishes. So would it be a shocker?
In the Classic?
Yeah. Would it be shocker if Polinick wins? No, absolutely not. He's at 6-1.
Wet dream.
Yeah, it would be. All right, next up, Drew Cook, the Georgia Angler, 4th Classic, 9th in 2021, 30th in 2021 on the Tennessee River. One characteristic about him, though, his win on Santee Cooper, forget about it, folks. I get it. It was a completely different event. But the one thing about that win was he went wire to wire. And there were guys that were closing in on him. He didn't panic. He sustained the pressure. If you put him in a position to where he's got to close it out on day 3 at the Classic. I think he has the experience now to handle the pressure. Next up, John Cox. Surprisingly, 6-1 maybe. 5th Classic. His best finish was back in 2018. He finished 20th. He's 21st in the Angler of the Year race right now. He finished 3rd back on the Tennessee River back in 2021. And if the fish are shallow, you better watch out for him. What are the chances that the fish are going to be shallow, or is this thing just going to be a smallmouth bonanza?
No. I mean, there's always shallow fish on the Tennessee River. I mean, the docks, the muddy water, the river stuff, the shallow stuff is always going to have a presence on where they're going out of.
Yeah.
Plus, you also have to understand, John Cox, this is like the first time in 4 Classics he's gotten to actually practice and be here. Like, he's always just come from another event and like showed up and started fishing. So.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. So thanks for bringing that up. Next up, Scott Canterbury, the Alabama pro, solid 6-1, 31st in the current Angler of the Year race. His 3rd Classic, he did finish 6th in 2021. He finished 15th on the Tennessee River back in 2021. Just a solid guy. Definitely think that he might have the game to make some noise at 6-1. Next up, Scott Martin, 6-1, 2nd Classic. Let's see here. He finished 19th in 2022. He's not having a great year so far, 52nd in the Angler of the Year race, but he has what I call the it factor. You know what the it factor is, Matt?
It's what makes Scott Martin Scott Martin.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with the resources, both from an experience standpoint, a knowledge standpoint, a technology standpoint, even from an IT standpoint. He's one of the guys that definitely has the it factor. That's why I got him at 6-1. Forget about the fact that he's only been to 2 Classics. I don't think that's even a factor. All right. Next up, let's see here. HFA, the dude is young, talking about Tristan McCormick from Tennessee. He's at 6-1 simply because of the HFA.
Yeah, Mark Frazier in there too.
Yeah, I know he's got very, very little experience. And I know it's not Lake Hartwell, but look out for this dude if it gets going in his wheelhouse. Let's see here. It's 7-1 now. Stetson Blaylock, the Arkansas.
That surprised me. I think he could easily be a 4 or 5-1. He's shown up in some Classics.
Who's that? Stetson?
Stetson.
Well, he's 37th in the AOY. This is 4th Classic. He did finish 3rd in 2022, 48th in 2021, 3rd in 2020. But back in 2021, he did finish 54th on the Tennessee River. That's why I kind of dropped him down a little bit at 7-1. But if they are on that pattern that is right in his wheelhouse, watch out. You might be able to make quite a bit of money at 7-1 on him. All right. This is a lot of people's favorite. Gussie. 7-1. Right now, not a great season so far. 41st in the Angler of the Year points.
That's not bad. I mean, it's 2 tournaments in. They fished 2 weeks. One in Florida, one in a crappy deal where they're like, hey, good luck not ripping your stuff off.
Yeah, I get it. All right.
Plus, he's from like 95 miles south of the Arctic Circle. So he had to go down to Florida then and deal with boiling skin lesions and sunlight.
I get it, man. All right. In his 3 Classics, he's got a 41st, a 21st, and a 31st. Remember, he won on the Tennessee River back in 2021, and he did it in smashing fashion by going wire to wire in that event. Smallmouth, big key. I think.
Did he have all smallmouth?
Yeah, I think the vast majority of them were smallmouth. Yeah. And the shad were a huge key in his pattern when he went wire to wire. How much the shad are going to come into play over this 3-day period, we'll see. We'll see what the guys find. But I got him at 7-1. That is a tease right there. Lay down $100 on that, make 700, and he's definitely one of the guys that I think are going to be in the hunt on the final day. All right, who we got next?
Chris Johnston.
Oh, okay. 7-1, 18th in the Angler of the Year standings right now. His fourth Classic, he finished 5th in 2022, 8th in 2021, 34th in 2020, finished 50th back in 2019 on the Tennessee River. And I don't know if you probably know this. Do you realize that he turned down a hockey gig in Knoxville?
Yes. It was like $250 a week. It was like the AAHL or something.
Was it really? So it wasn't even like AA hockey?
It might have been. I mean, still way better than your 99.99% of guys.
No, I get it. All right. Next up, who do we have?
You have Matt Airy, Corey. Okay, the rest at 7. You have Matt Airy, Corey Johnson, Cobb, Taku, and Shane LaHue. Those are all 7-1. 7-1 is your toughest grouping by far.
It is. Let's see here for Corey. Excuse me. He's 45th. He finished.
Now, by the way, folks, if you're listening to this on MP3, Jefferys is in school.
Yeah.
And that is the bell.
It's the bell. Sorry. Apologize for that. All right. Anyway, Corey, 45th back in 2021. Fourth Classic, currently 47th in the AOI. He is coming off an 8th place finish at a Lake Seminole after a horrible start at the Big O, where he finished 91st. But I still think some action there at 7-1 for Corey. All right. Brandon Cobb, 7-1. 4th in the Angler of the Year currently after 2 events. 4th Classic, but he has done nothing, Matt. His best finish was back in 2021. He finished 32nd. He did finish 22nd on the Tennessee River, and he had a great start to the season this year, 3rd on the Big O. But as you and I both are aware, the Classic's just a different animal. And if you can't get it going with, over the 3-day period, and you don't really have a history of having anything going, it's really tough to increase the odds on that guy with no real success over the past history that players have had at the Bassmaster Classic. Let's see here. Ito, not off to a great start.
It wouldn't surprise me. None of these guys here so far would surprise me if they popped off and had a good derby.
He finished 7th in 2022. The one characteristic that I know about him is he is either super dialed in or he's absolutely lost. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, well, imagine going places and every time you see a sign on the water, you don't know whether it says cheeseburgers at the next marina or whether it says keep out, no fishing.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm giving the dude big props. You know why? He's got DHL on his jersey. That's impressive.
It's a shipping company.
DHL is?
It's a shipping company, correct?
Yeah.
And you work for UPS.
No, it's the largest international carrier. They're big on international movements. So props to him for getting DHL as a primary sponsor on the front of his jersey. And then let's see, the last one at 7-1, Shane LaHue.
I think he lost their boat shipping it over from Japan, and they were like, "We'll sponsor you, just don't sue us."
Yeah. The one thing about LaHue, I got him at 7-1. He's 8th in the Angler Year. He's got off to a great start, but this is his 4th Classic. In the last 2 years, he's got a 50th and a 53rd. Not very good. He finished 41st at the Tennessee River back in 2021. So not a lot of really good history with him. But once again, he's trying to ride the momentum of 2 really good events to start the season. Next up, 8-1. Who do we have first at 8-1?
8-1s are Lee Livesey.
Okay. He's 12th in the Angler of the Year. He's got 2 top 25s in the Classic. 3rd Classic with an 8th place finish in 2020 and 11th. Back in 2022, he finished 32nd. Back in 2021 on the Tennessee River. That's a money play right there. If you're looking for some action at 8-1, that's definitely
I think there's
a money play.
Certain guys that you can't put a statistic next to their name, but they just have the demeanor that is is chill. Like that,
Yeah.
they don't get rattled in the biggest moments, and I think that Lee has that cool
Yeah.
factor, and
Yeah.
that'll serve him for the duration of his career.
I get it. All right. Next up, Swindle. I have him at 8-1. Swindle.
That's shocking.
You
Well,
know,
I guess no. If you're going based on wins, it's not shocking.
well, here I'm getting ready to throw this stat that I ran across. It is his 20th classic. You know what his best finish is, though?
Probably it would have been Hartwell. What, 13th?
Nope. He actually finished 5th in 2005 in Pittsburgh.
No joke.
And you know how much weight he had over 3 days?
8 pounds.
11 pounds. 11 pounds. And that was one of the more memorable classics that we were at when it was just, man, such a grind.
I think Clay's right. I don't think you ever pick Swindle high, like on the odds. Just for hooky the bookie stuff.
Yeah, I don't. He did finish 10th at Hartwell, you know, and he has surpassed 2.3 million in earnings. Let me ask you this. What is your biggest memory about Gerald Swindle? Is there one thing that sticks in your mind about Gerald Swindle?
Honestly, my biggest memory is the Conroe Classic. When he got on stage and said, I think it was the Conroe Classic, when he said something about how he wasn't going to get beat or someone was about to get beat by a guy in skinny jeans and Chuck Taylors.
Yeah.
About Brent Ayler. I don't remember that. But I mean, there's a bunch of Swindle memories.
Yeah. The one that sticks in my mind, Clay, you're all over it. The 10 at Clear Lake, the advanced auto parts jersey.
Oh, you want them, baby? I got 'em.
Gosh. That was at the peak of this sport and the exposure that got. That is just the one thing that is entrenched in my brain with Gerald Swindle. You know, it's not the greatest thing. It's not, you know, a win or an Angler of the Year or anything like that. I just cannot get that out of my mind when anybody brings up stuff about Swindle. That and he was one of the first in the house that we ever did. Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah, you went by yourself there. Yeah. So 8-1, your other 8-1s, and then you can break down each one or talk about what you want. But Austin Felix, Keith Poche, Cooper Gallant, Caleb Coupal, and Cliff Perch. I think it's interesting. I mean, you've got a massive rookie there in Cooper Gallant, and to put him at the same odds as Swindle and Combs and Perch, and you can even throw Felix and Poche in there.
Yeah.
But I think that I picked Cooper for my fantasy team. I think Cooper's I think he's got what you were talking about, the Scott Martin factor. Is that the it factor?
Yeah.
I think Coop has the it factor.
Yeah.
I think he's that 2011 Brandon Polinick that comes into the Chattahoochee or whatever he is and goes nose to nose with KVD and top fives it. I think it's the 2013 Grand Lake Classic where he's cranking outside Echo Bay with an original wiggle wart. Like there are just certain guys when they're younger, they thrive under that instead of cave under it. And I think Coop is one of those guys. Mm-hmm. Plus, he won on Cherokee on forward-facing sonar and 2D, traditional 2D, and a moping a Demiki rig. And it's like the same one that Gussie uses. They're both Canadian. They both like that. I think he could be real strong and just really chill about it.
Yeah. All right, real quick. Run through the 9-1s. I just have a couple of notes.
Brock Mosley, Jacob Perosnik, Kenta Kimura, Luke Palmer, KJ Queen, Tyler Rivette, Cody Huff, Carl Jacobson, and Chad Pipkins.
Yeah, you know, the Rivette play at 9-1, he is leading Angler of the Year after 2 events. And some people may not realize he's been doing this since 2016. But in 2021, he finished 71st on the Tennessee River. And the big thing that I think, even though with him leading Angler of the Year after two events, is can he handle the pressure? And Matt, we talk about that all the time with the Classic. But you guys need to go back. If you didn't watch the 20 Feet Deep documentary that we did the last time that the Classic was
called
at
the
Knoxville.
49th.
Yeah, it's called 49th. It was a 49th Classic. You need to check that out because you can definitely see, even with some of the guys that were leading, the pressure that exists with this event. And the ability to handle pressure is really kind of the separation factor with so many of these young anglers. And some have been able to battle it and destroy the pressure that sits in their face, and others have crumbled. And the Classic is just a different animal, man. It really is. The other thing, too, it is Carl's first Bassmaster Classic. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And I know Carl's got a ton of fans, and he is one of these guys that have absolutely worked his tail off.
If he's in the mix, if Carl Jacobson is in the mix on Sunday, it'll automatically make this one of the coolest classics ever, because they're going to make sure that the 50 people that came over from Australia with their flags and their Bassmaster magazines are in the splash well. He's got the extended family. He's got the new kid. He moved to Tennessee, so he's actually living in the home state. He's about an hour and a half away. Talk about all the positivity. Carl could make this classic.
I agree.
If he's in the hunt.
And he does have one Elite Series win. And do you remember the characteristic of that win on 10 Killer? What he did to slam the door, Matt?
He threw a jig on a brush pile?
Well, no, he had 20 pounds on the final day. And nobody even came close to that. And it was a very, very special brush pile. But he worked his tail off to find where that brush pile is. But once again, it's that ability to finish. And I don't care if it's fishing or hockey or basketball or any other individual sport.
Can't leave the 7-10 split.
When you can create the environment to where you can step up and finish, that is the separation factor. And that's what brings championships to the mantle. So I think if Carl is in that position, that I think he has that experience now, and I don't think he's the crumble type. No. I think he would be basking in the glory of having an opportunity.
Oh, dude, it would be nuts.
It would be. It would be insane.
You want me to run through the 10-to-1s, because you've got some real crazy 10-to-1s.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Dude, lead it off. Seth Feider at 10-to-1 before we get to any of them. Wait a second. He would be probably 4-to-1 for me.
Okay.
Why is he at 10-to-1?
Yeah, two things about Feider. One, he finished 15th in the Classic in 2019. I get it. 29th in 2021. He's not off to a great start. And in fact, in his last 13 events, he only has 2 top 20s. He's kind of been struggling a little bit.
That's not bad.
And some people may say, oh, well, you're being a little bit too hard on him. I mean, he was the 2021 Angler of the Year. Yeah, I think he followed that up. And I don't remember exactly what the number is, but I think he finished like 22nd or 23rd in the points. I think this is a absolute money grab. In other words, this is the bait that Hookie the Bookie is throwing out there, because I think at 10-to-1, you would have a massive amount of play on Seth Feider.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And then you would have underplay on Bob Dowdy, who's incredibly consistent, also from Minnesota.
Yeah.
Schmidt, Shakuret, Opens winner Casey Smith, and Opens winner JT Tompkins all check in at 10-to-1. All right. You have 2 anglers at 11-to-1. You have Colin Smith. Is he the team guy?
I think so. I believe so.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on, let's throw it out.
Why is Zaldain at 11-to-1?
I'm going to tell you why. Okay.
I mean, that's just straight up disrespectful. You're going to have trade all up in your DMs.
Dude, it is not. All right. First thing I'm going to say, it's a money play. All right. It's to generate action. But listen to this. This is his 8th Classic. His best finish was 12th place back in 2019. Okay. Let's see here. He was in 28th on day 1, and then he moved all the way up to 3rd on day 2 because he had a monster 21-pound bag. Guess what you think he had on the final day? Do you know?
Yeah, he went out and it didn't pan out for him, but he
That's
kept
right. He
slinging
only
the
had
big meat.
He only had 2 fish for 3-4 on the final day. All right. The dude has not proven to me, all right, statistically.
Okay.
I mean, don't get the wrong idea, folks. I think he is massive for this sport. I think he is.
You're going to get a dead cat in your mailbox.
I think he is massively contributing to what we're trying to accomplish, or what people are trying to accomplish with this sport. I think he has a massive fan base. He does an enormous amount of promotion for all of his sponsors and the sports and everything. Bottom line is this: that is an action play for a guy that has not been able to close the deal.
You will not be getting any lunker logs for your birthday.
But am I wrong, Matt?
You're wrong. I mean, you don't have to be wrong. There is no right or wrong. This is you and your hooky the bookie odds. And if
I'm asking you a question,
he hasn't proven that he can slam the door in the big events. He does not have a regular season Elite Series win.
Okay, has he been able to close the deal?
No, he is not.
Event? That's why he's at 11-1.
Okay. Best name in the field, Luminetti. He's the college guy. We got a couple of longer odd guys here. Dude, I would put Schlapper a little bit higher too. He's incredibly consistent. Plus, he's from Wisconsin, and Pat Schlapper knows how to fish in the cold.
I agree with that. That's another action play to get some action on those higher odds. But dude, we always go back and we always look at how my odds performed each year. And I would say the last 6-7 years, I've been pretty much spot on.
Okay. You're going to get this one wrong, though.
Okay.
At 16-1, Will Davis Jr.
He's having a good season, man, but he's extremely young when it comes to the experience part.
You're right.
We'll see. I think this field is very dynamic. I think you have some really, really cool storylines that can be told based upon what the outcome is after day 2. And I think that final day outcome, if some key players are in position, that this could be a fantastic story-told classic that we haven't had for quite some time.
I agree. And then wrapping things up, Will Diffenbach at 20-1 and Jonathan Dietz at 25-1. So no one crazy out there like 250-1 or 500-1 odds. You got, I give you an A. I give you an A, Mark. Yeah, there's definitely some discussion there, but there always will be.
Yeah. All right. Throw your mug up there again. People are tired of looking at me. There you go. Once again, Matthew, man, it's always fun to do this. It was a little hectic this year with all the recruiting and everything else that I had going on. Fortunately, or unfortunately, our basketball season ended a little early. So I had some time to do a little research and put in the effort to come up with a lot of the stats that I've passed along to everybody on this show. And finally, remember, folks, this is entertainment purposes only. Please.
That'll work. I understand that.
All right.
Like I said, if you want to get a look at these, if you want to print these out, follow along for entertainment purposes only, as Mark just stated. They will be available on bestontour.net.
Yeah.
Before the Classic. Do me a favor. They are my title sponsor for the Bassmaster Open season. Sign up for it with your email address, bestontour.net, completely free to your inbox. Industry news once a week.
Who's your pick, Matt? Do you have a pick yet?
Yes, my pick, which will be out on the Open Pros Pick'em show featuring Ish Monroe. God, I feel like all I've done is done promos and tried to sell crap. Ish Monroe, Todd Castledine.
Into the My Pillow guy, for crying out loud. Jeez.
And Andrew Upshaw, available at Andrew Upshaw's YouTube channel later today. My pick, and we just talked about him, my pick to win is Chris Zaldain because I know what he's doing. He's going all meat, confidence high. It's not my pick to do well in the tournament, but he's my pick to win the tournament. Does that make sense?
I get it.
Listen, I couldn't pick. Okay, I actually have 2 picks because I couldn't pick because Ish picked first and he picked my other guy. If my feet were on the fire, I'm picking Christie again.
Okay.
Because if there is the FF Minnow deal, we saw what he did on Hartwell with it, and there's no one better up shallow in 2 to 3 foot of water with a big Colorado blade spinner blade and a number 6 Hildenbrandt Colorado. And he also likes to be the man. He's the Ric Flair. He's just a quiet Ric Flair. And the last thing that dude wants to do is be up on stage when confetti's flying for someone else. He's been through that. He does it. He's got the damn trophy, and he doesn't want to hand it off to anybody. He wants to keep it for another year.
I get it. You know, I'm going to say my pick, and my pick's going to be Patrick Walters. All right. I firmly believe that these fish are going to be staged in some areas, and forward-facing sonar is going to be the key thing this year.
Okay.
It really is.
And then the world explodes, and people are like, the Classic is now ruined.
I really, really think that he is going to be a big time factor, and I think that forward-facing sonar is going to be a big factor because the couple of people that I've spoke with, which is not that many, they feel, you know, the fish aren't even close to moving up. You know, so
yeah. Well, it was like 7 degrees there yesterday. So
yeah, staged, bunched up, smallmouth, forward-facing sonar. Patrick Walters is my guy.
There you go. All right, Mark, before we put a bow on this thing and wrap it up an hour and 12 minutes in, what else you got?
That's it, man. I've enjoyed the couple of times, you know, I haven't done a Mark After Dark lately mainly because of basketball, but I am really, really excited about going fishing, dude. It's going to happen. It's happening. I've got some sick days I got to burn before the end of school. I'm going to hit the water, and I can't wait for our one-on-one.
Give me a call.
Yeah. You got to show me how to use forward-facing sonar anyway.
I'll give you a lesson in it before I give you a whooping.
All right. Hey, thank you, everybody out there. Hey, if you want to stay in touch with me, I'm not doing the social media thing, but you can shoot me an email every now and then, still at mark@basszone.com. And bowling-wise, getting ready for the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open's in Colorado this year. So looking forward to that. Thanks, Matt.
All right, this has been a special edition of BTL, the Bassmaster Classic Odd Show with Mark Jefferys. We are off tomorrow as I'm traveling to the Classic. Come see us on Saturday. 12 o'clock, the Bass Tank booth with Frank Scalish. 1 o'clock, the Beatdown booth with Bradley Hallman. 3 o'clock on Saturday of the Classic Expo, the Sunline booth with Frank Scalish. On Friday, I will be in the Beatdown booth and the Pro Guides battery booth. And then on Sunday, I will be in the AFCO and Denali booths. Hit me up on a DM on Instagram if you're at the Classic Expo. You want to come talk fishing, shoot the crap, do whatever you want to do. I'm with it. Mark, thank you. You put some time and effort into this. Greatly appreciate it. We'll stay on. Let me throw the logo up here, and we'll say we will talk to everybody next Monday when we have a brand new Classic champ. See ya.